Rugby, rugby, rugby!
Pod, pod, pod!
Rugby, rugby, rugby!
Pod, pod, pod!
Rugby!
Pod!
Rugby!
Pod!
Rugby, rugby, rugby!
Pod, pod, pod! Hello and welcome to Rugby, Rugby, Rugby podcast, the show where we provide cutting-edge analysis and deep insights into the last couple of weeks of rugby, and definitely do not talk about throwing baked beans on people. I'm Hutch Davis, joining me again are Jonathan.
Hello.
And Oscar.
Hello.
So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the next half an hour of almost rugby content.
I feel like before we start, we do need to explain where we've been for the last month, because we did say we'd do a show every couple of weeks, but personally, I had a once-in-a-lifetime trip. I was having a little chocolate bar and I found a golden ticket in there, so fast forward a couple of weeks,
Right.
I'm in a random man's chocolate house, and long story short...
How is Jeffrey Epstein?
I had something I shouldn't have. I grew into a giant blueberry, and he gaslit me into thinking it was my fault. So I've only just gone back to normal. So that's why.
Well, I've got a few ways of catching up with things. I've got my own little ways of doing things. So do you want us to take a step back, and I'll give you a bit of Wacky Wound-up. Ooh,
Wacky Wound-up.
Wacky Wound-up. Ooh, Canada, lol. Ooh, Uruguay were hey. Wales, lol. New Zealand were hey. The South African domestic sides are actually good, despite us telling them they were shit. Players are allowed to wear tights now. That's a big dub. Worcester and Bath can't defend. Quins have made Bristol need therapy. Leinster are predictably top of the URC. Unfortunately for everyone, Saracens are still good. And congratulations to Carl Sinclair on becoming the Dalai Lama's latest Instagram prodigy.
Right, thank you very much, Hutch. Let's go into some general rugby chat. Let's keep this brief because, as last week's show, or last month's show, established, we don't really know very much. So, Wales against New Zealand, you boys were actually there. You were actually at a rugby game. Do you want to tell us about it?
It was good.
I didn't go for the rugby. I heard that my favourite DJ, DJ TP, was going to be there. So I listened to his 40-minute set before the game, and then I didn't really have an interest in the actual game after that.
Do you know what I love with my Welsh rugby?
What did you love?
I love an English DJ coming about and playing Prism tunes.
Oh, it was beautiful, wasn't it? My favourite bit was when he played Monster Match, and what's that coming over the hill? It really got me hyped for the game, that did.
Like a year 6 school disco.
Just needed Cheryl Cole fight for this love, and I've been ready to take on the hacker myself. Anyway, now that we've covered Wales and New Zealand,
it was probably the most Wales versus New Zealand game that I've seen in recent years. It was a real Wales could be in this, but we're never in it. And then after 60 minutes, they were really not in it.
We're never in it, but we're never out of it.
Yeah, I mean it was all right.
Well, until the 63rd minute.
Tane Basham played well.
So did Ryan Elias.
Yeah, he's good.
Had a very good. Oh my God, Ryan Elias.
The GOAT.
I did give him a bit of a disservice. I said he didn't throw a single good line out the whole game, but the first line out after the 3 minutes, it was really good. It's just a shame that it led straight to Bowden Barrett's intercept try.
Slightly tainted. Yeah. So Kieran, actually, you've played a game for Alton RFC second team this year.
Yeah, I have.
Would Ryan Elias make that team?
I think he could fit on the bench quite well. He'd get off the bench in the second half.
It is quite funny considering the second team can barely get out 13 players. So for him to make the bench is quite an achievement.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was quality. I think he's world class.
Yeah, exactly. Jonathan, you told me a little story about your post-match antics in the...
post-match, going down the M4. Stopped in Lee Delamere, little wee break, little sandwich. Walking into the toilets, who do I see but Nick Evans, who was there on the way back for the Quins game. So
one of my favourite players ever.
Best part of the day, that was.
Yeah, actually, in the
massive cock.
Obviously,
that hog on him.
you got to have a little look. It reminds me, in the summer, I was on a camping trip.
What's this reminding you of?
No, seriously.
You got to have a little look. Oh, that reminds me.
In the summer.
Back in my hog watching days of 1969.
I was in Neath Rugby Club next to Adam Jones.
I was on a camping trip. I was going surfing in Devon.
Oh, you're pursuing with this story.
I am actually going with the story.
Yeah, go the distance.
And I was having a piss. This bloke sort of shuffles in. There's only two urinals, so he shuffles in the one next to me, and I have a quick look to my right, downwards, obviously. Quick look to my right, and it's none other than England legend Richard Hill. And
I got a question.
It really shocked me because
Which head did you look at first?
I think we all know.
No, okay. Okay, which head identified him?
Both. And it just made me think that if we could, our beloved and loyal listeners, if they could ring in and tell us the best rugby player that they've had a piss next to, I reckon we could make a hell of a 15. By the end of the season, we want to hear from you. And we've already got Richard Hill in at 6, Nick Evans in at 10. And yeah, so any other stories? You can't really say hello, can you? Like, if you're in the toilet, you don't be tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Oh, big fan."
Yeah, you can get a selfie.
You're like,
The great thing about it in that situation is you don't even need to ask. You can just take a selfie. That's what I love. That's what I love about public etiquette.
Oh, God's sake.
Well, moving on to the games that haven't happened for us, but will have happened by the time this eventually comes out. Let's do some predictions.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the first game? Ireland v Japan. Who's going to win?
Japan.
Yeah, Japan as well.
Yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah,
boo.
they probably will.
All
But
right.
I love an underdog.
Scotland v Australia.
Australia.
Yeah, Australia.
Australia. Oh no, I mean Scotland by 15 points to 13.
Unless it's one of those days in Scotland where it's just like -5 and rain sideways, and the Australians are so cold and miserable they just decide not to play rugby. There have been quite a few games like that. I remember in like 2008 or something they lost to a really bad Scotland team just because the weather was so foul.
England Tonga. I'm going for a famous Tonga win.
I'm there this weekend. I'm very excited.
First,
yeah. First England game for. Oh my God! It's my first England game since we lost to Wales in the 2019 Six Nations.
Oh yeah, when we took you. That was a fun day.
Yeah, it was a fun day. Apart from the
You
result,
saw Martin Johnson. You should have followed him into the toilet. We could have got
I
him in the
should have
team.
done. And Sam Warburton. Tell you what about
Martin
that?
Johnson's Johnson.
Like, having a piss next to these players. If we had Jono in the second row and Richard Hill and Sam Warburton at 6 and 7, nobody is beating this team. So yeah, I'm very excited. Famous to be honest, if Tonga won, I would actually be happier.
Really?
Just because of like I was there when Tonga beat England, and it would be the most mental thing. I could dine out on that story.
You could.
Wales v South Africa.
South Africa. Oh my God! Come on.
We're going to get walked over.
Gonna go Wales.
South Africa 23, Wales 18.
And finally, France, Argentina.
France.
This is game of the weekend.
France.
The hype train.
Yeah, I
for
do think it's the best
for
game
the
easily.
Dupont, Jalibert, Entamac, and then actually not even that true. You got Fico at 13, and you got Penaud on the wing. I'm obsessed with France. I really wish I was.
Oh, that's
Also, I
such
didn't
a nice
mention
team.
Italy v New Zealand. I'm assuming that's because we all agree Italy are going to win.
Right, and compare that to the Six Nations champions backline, which is consists of John McNichol at fullback, fucking Nick Tompkins at 12, washed up Jonathan Davis.
Oh, hot take.
Get Kieran Williams in there now.
Save that for shit show and tell, mate.
I won't say it again.
Anyway, I think that probably just about covers it for general rugby chat. Looking forward to this weekend's games. It's a good set of games. I'm excited to have some tickets and actually go and watch some rugby because it's been way too long. So anybody out there that's going to a game, then have fun. And anybody that's not, I hope you don't have fun.
Sit on your ass.
I'm not going to a game.
Yeah, directed at you.
Fucker. Sorry, that's completely unnecessary.
So, I just snotted all over my microphone.
Right. Should we move on to the new segment of the show entitled Rugby is Shit?
That is pretty edgy.
This is my edgy segment that I created. As we've mentioned, we aren't too fond of the state of rugby at the moment that's found itself in. So we think it's in need of some improvements, some adjustments to make the game more watchable, to make the game more fun to play. So every week I'm going to present you with a new idea that you two have to decide whether it should be implemented by World Rugby or not. Okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Idea number 1. I believe there should be the introduction of a 16th man on either team who isn't actually on anyone's side and just has to tackle anybody he wants.
Is this with or without the ball?
Anything. He can tackle anyone.
Do the rules apply to them? Like, can they be offside? They can do whatever?
No. They just go around tackling things.
Can the foul play rules apply to them?
If they want to be really edgy, they can tackle the ref, and that adds a bit more entertainment.
Like high tackles and stuff?
Yeah. You can't high tackle. Don't be stupid. You can blindside people, but as soon as you go high.
If we say, okay, but you've got to adhere to the laws of the game, because we can't have it being unsafe. We can't have any high tackles. Player welfare is at the forefront.
I think it become really tactical.
The 16th man is yours, so he only tackles people from the other team?
No, he can tackle his own teammates if he wants.
That's so rogue. You can't even use him tactically then. It's just one guy running around.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good spectacle.
Is this for the full 80 minutes, or is there like an allocated 5 minutes that he
It's
can
a power
play?
Like cricket has a power
Oh,
play.
yes, maybe there should be a power play. An anarchy power play where the game devolves into absolute chaos.
Or you do get to control your extra player. So you get to use him for whatever 10-minute period you like. And he doesn't like affect your team.
Yeah, I like this.
I like the idea of a power play where you just implement a 16th man. So have we agreed that we're implementing that?
Oh yeah, big time. I'm a big fan.
I think we definitely, this is getting the stamp of approval from me. We're implementing the 16th man power play.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, right, I'll get it typed up, send it over to Big Billy B. see what he wants. See if he wants to take me up on the idea. See if I can get some monetary gain from it. Right, my next question from this segment is, which rugby player would you pick to be your 16th man in the team?
In terms of who I want as my 16th man, I'm having a bit of a brain block.
You got to remember that if they're your 16th man, they can't be playing on the pitch. So they've got to be like a brainless player that would really have no other impact anyway.
If it's international, does he have to be that nationality?
Well, yeah.
If he was playing for England, would it have to be an English bloke that you have as your 16th man?
It has to be English.
Well, you can if it's at the club
team,
level,
mate.
if it's at domestic level. All right.
He's a 16th man, which means the crowd would have to be the 17th.
I'd like Alisana Tuolangi as my 16th man.
He'd come on and get sent off within 2 minutes.
Rules don't apply.
They do apply. He fucking clotheslined someone.
Not to him.
I do like your thinking though, because he's fast and he'll just destroy people. I'm gonna go for Henry Tuolangi. I feel like the Samoans they'll just rebrand themselves. Like they won't even have a national
They'll
team.
be like rugby mercenaries.
Yeah, well, they kind of already are.
If you played two teams where either team had one of them as their power play rogue player, if you used them at the same time, they would just cancel each other out and they'd just go after each other the whole time. So you'd have to be really tactical about how you use that against just some other Tuolangi.
I forgot to mention another law of the power play is if a pitch invader invades, then both players of the 16th man must enter the field and tackle him to the ground. Imagine having two Tuolangis going after you just try and take the piss.
Oh yeah, that would really.
You definitely go if you guaranteed like one random pitch invasion, which is practically what this power play is. You definitely go to the stadium to see it if it wasn't shown on TV cameras. Easily.
That'd scare Jarvo off. Do you see he fucking showed up at the Wales game?
I didn't put two and two together from him at the. He was the one at the cricket, and I saw him, and I saw his name.
Yeah, the guy came on. It was
only
when
I saw his
team.
name did I put two and two together.
It was funny once. It was funny with like the first time when he came on, when like, it was after lunch as well. It was quite funny, but after that, I just think he's a prick.
No, I respect the grind.
I'd send Henry Tuolangi after Jarvo. Absolutely no questions asked.
Exactly, because that would be a brilliant scene, because he's lining up for the national anthem trying to take the piss, and out of nowhere he comes back, he folds round from the other side, just takes him out.
Why are we talking about Jarvo?
I mean, he did actually show up in the rugby. It's loosely rugby related.
I do agree that this power play would increase match attendances. So
I think
it does need to be implemented.
You've started strong, Kieran. Well done.
Yeah, that's our way of
thank you.
Of making rugby less shit.
Tell you what, boys, I can tell you someone that doesn't find rugby shit. Carly Heffler. After he's back. He's back. The legend himself. And after the frankly shambolic report he sent us from Australia last time, we've got him on a shorter leash, really.
Yes, a few weeks ago we sent him to an exciting looking game, but forced him to give us a live report after last time's shambles. A shorter leash this time around, so let's throw back to that broadcast from a few weeks ago.
Carly, tell us where you are today, mate.
Well, lads, I'm on the toon watching Newcastle versus Bristol, and I cannot wait. I had to come to this game when news broke about the multi-billion-dollar takeover, and I am so excited to see the first game of this new era for Newcastle.
Carly, you do remember it was the football team that was taken over, not the Falcons.
Oh, shit. Well, we're just about to kick off here, and this has all the early hallmarks of an absolute cracker.
Well, do keep us updated and we'll check in with you throughout the show. Well, with that out of the way, we move on now to the regular segment of our Lord and Saviour, Bill Beaumont.
Rugby's values. Respect.
Last week, after Northampton Saints battered Worcester by almost 60 points, we saw Dan Bigger offering his young opposite 10 some lovely words of advice after the final whistle.
Yes, Dan beautifully embodied the rugby value of respect.
He didn't have to take the time to give him those pearls of wisdom, but he did. What a man. 3 cheers for Dan Bigger.
Hang on. How do we actually know that he was giving him advice?
Commentators said.
Oh, they did they? Well, how do we know that he wasn't asking him what he thought of the newest series of sex
I
education?
did like episode 5.
All that happened was the commentators said, oh, look at him giving his younger counterpart some words of wisdom, and everybody ran with it, when they could have just been talking about the weather or what junction to take off on the way home or anything.
Yeah, Twitter went truly mad. Like, this is one of the more rugby values occasions that I've seen in recent months.
Definitely. So actually, I don't think this is very respectful at all. I don't think it embodies the rugby value of respect because we're putting words in somebody's mouth. Once again, we are very sorry, Bill. We will do better next time on Bill Beaumont's Rugby Values.
Indeed. So in the last show, we introduced Madagascar Watch, which is our regular segment where we keep an eye on one of the sort of developing rugby nations of the world because, as always, there's just way too much focus given to the Tier 1 nations, and we want to give a shout out to our Tier 3 and 4 boys in Madagascar Watch. Rugby was first introduced in Madagascar in the 1890s by the French.
It is estimated that around 60% of Madagascar's 40,000 strong player pool are female.
The women's captain was in the top 5 influential women in the country in 2019 due to her work in development through rugby.
Madagascar won the 2012 Africa Cup.
And with around 40,000 registered players, they boast a player pool larger than that of China, Spain, Russia, and impressively, Canada. Less impressively now, though, while they are only 10,000 behind Scotland.
King Julian was only meant to have 2 lines in the original movie before Sacha Baron Cohen charmed producers with his perfect Indian accent. The Central Park Zoo doesn't actually have a lion, a zebra, a giraffe, or a hippo. They do have penguins, though. The penguins were almost cut from the first movie, wish they were, thought they were a bit shite. And Melman the giraffe was originally an okapi, a deer-zebra hybrid. Ooh, scary. You're all caught up, that's the latest.
So we now throw it back to Carly Heffler.
Oh, I'd throw it back on Carly Heffler.
How's the... For fuck's sake. We now throw it back to Carly Heffler. How's the game going? Any updates, Carly?
See, I normally go for a chicken pie, but that beef and gravy is serving me very dirty looks.
Carly,
yes,
you there?
I think I've made up my mind. Yes, the beef and gravy it is.
Hurry up, you tit, we're missing the game.
Hey, we can't rush these things, all right?
Carly,
Okay, here's the money.
Carly, can you hear us?
Keep the change.
Can you hear
Have
us,
a nice
Carly?
day.
What are you doing?
Hello, boys. Just a little second-half snack to keep spirits high. This has been an absolutely turgid game. No tries at all.
has anything happened since we last spoke?
Well, yes, but not on the pitch. At half-time, I appeared on Kiss Cam, and frightfully, Stephen Jones was the man next to me in the press pen.
Oh, so you didn't do it?
I never said that. Of course I did. I laid a big smackaroonie right on his gob, and he tried to use a bit of tongue, the dirty bastard.
Let's keep it professional now, Carly, please.
I wish he told him that.
So, what are you doing now?
Just walking back to my seat with me pie. I don't know anything's happened. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, what?
I've missed the try. You only try the fucking game.
Oh, Christ, Carly. We made it live this week so you wouldn't do something like this again. Last time a panini, now a fucking pie.
I know. I'm sorry.
You let us down again, Carly. I hope you're proud. 3 strikes and you're out, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Well, how's the pie?
Well, it's very good, actually.
Huh.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, I hope it was worth it. Safe journey home. Moving on to a story from the URC, we sent a team to follow Jay-Z's first ever visit to a rugby game.
Now, I know what you may be thinking. Oh, Jay-Z hasn't been to a game yet. If he had, it would be all over the news. But you couldn't be more wrong. He has been to a game yet. He just didn't want the world to know about it.
Yes, we all know Jay-Z's favourite team is the Dragons, and our crack team have been monitoring air traffic activity from LA to Newport all season. And after months of nothing, we finally got a nibble recently.
We sent our team to follow this lead, and this is what happened next.
Match day programmes. Get your match day programmes. Match day programmes only £10. Get all the information you could have found free online, but enclosed in a nice smelling book. £10 match day programmes only 10. What the fuck is that? Is that Jay? Is Beyonce with him?
Is that Jay-Z?
God, I love doing the Lion King.
Oh, do you think Beyonce will be with him? Oh,
They're getting out. No, they're getting.
Oh, it's stopping. I think they might be getting out. Oh, there they are. Oh, my God. I think this might be the best thing to happen to Newport since Hibbard signed. Excuse me, coming through. On your left. Oh, watch out, you dick. Jay. Oi, Jay. All right, Jay, I'm Tony. I'm your Dragon chaperone today. Welcome to Rodney Parade, the finest sporting establishment in the 20-mile stretch of the M4 between the Severn Bridge and Cardiff. How was your journey?
Awful turbulence was a bitch and babe wouldn't stop playing Angry Birds. Knock it off.
Oh, that's terrible. Still, at least you avoided the traffic in Newport. A chip van overturned by the tunnels and it was chaos. We've had to delay the match.
Oh, not good.
Oh, tell me about it, stud. The chip van man was our starting loosehead, so that's our prop and our post-match grub down the shitter. Anyway, let's get you to your new VIP box. It's well hidden, so nobody will even know you were here.
I was at the Brit Awards last night, so it's been 19 hours since I've been anywhere labeled VIP. So you understand it's been a hard day.
Oh, I dig. I was at the Wales Online Gala last week and I managed to blag a free glass of champagne with some coupons I collected from Digby's dog food. So we've both got a taste of that high life. Anyway, here we are, the VP of the URC VIP box at Rodney Parade, sponsored by Just Eat in partnership with Compede and powered by Charlie's Chips.
Champagne.
Free?
Yes.
Don't mind if I do.
The fuck is this? It's the size of my cupboard.
Fucking hell, we knocked through the disabled toilets and Richard a bit steam room for this. At least say a pissing thank you.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't sweat it, J-Dog. Hey, you must be hungry. Just have a pucker pie and a pint and enjoy the entertainment that you shelled out millions of dollars on, all right? Kickoff's not far away, so I'll come check on you both in the second half, all right? All right.
Conversion is good. The score is Dragons 6, Leinster 55.
I never said that. I said invest in UFC, not the URC.
Sort it out.
Hello, campers, how we doing?
We're leaving.
Oh, no, don't. We might come back and win.
It's not the game, I just can't do this. That was the president of Rock Nation Sports, and we're pulling the plug on this.
Oh, you can't.
I can. I was minding my own business, and I've had my career made fun of. I've had my clothes made fun of. Fuck, I even had my hair made fun of. Said I look like a damn penny blue.
Lads, look! SpongeBob's moving house again!
Fuck you, screw this, big, we're leaving.
Piss off, Jay. I'm having a whale of a time. From the top, lads!
Fine, you can stay and enjoy Charlie's Chips, but I'm out of here and I'm taking the helicopter.
Oh, Jay-Z, I appreciate the witty line to leave, and I really do, but actually she won't be having any of Charlie's chips. None of us will. Just got off the phone to the feds, and he's still at the scene of that crash by the tunnels. Silly bastard got a spudge wedged beneath his brake pedal, and they're treating it as a hate crime. He hit a gog.
What does that even mean?
See you, Jay-Z.
Fucking time westers.
He'll be back. Now, we here at Rugby Podcast feel that not enough time is given to the bright lights of rugby who, unfortunately, no longer play the game. We feel it is our responsibility here, nay, obligation, to shine a spotlight on some of these players, and we have decided to compile a report into our Retiree of the Week, Riki Flutey.
Riki Flutey, an icon on the pitch for so many years, one of the brightest tacticians, a legendary finisher with more tries than England legends Jason Leonard and Martin Johnson combined. But what's he up to now, following the conclusion of his storied career?
Our story begins in the sleepy town of Wellington, New Zealand, where a bright-eyed 36-year-old man with a history of bloody violence arrived to seek his fortune.
He searched high and low, going door to door for weeks on end in search of employment.
I once got battered by Sterling Mortlock.
Finally, wearily, he collapsed onto an abandoned sofa after 24 days of sleepless job seeking. In the morning, he realised he had not collapsed on an abandoned sofa, but a show sofa, and the furniture salesman admired his balls.
I admire your balls. Not literally, figuratively.
And he offered him a job, there and then.
Not long into the job, Riki was fired for gross misconduct. He sold a couple a regular sofa, but told them it was a futon.
Unforgivable! But with his reputation as a hardened salesman still intact, it did not take Riki very long to find employment once again. He was picked up as an account manager for a large construction company who, despite his lack of experience in accounting and management, hired him because he promised them a great rate on a set of bespoke futons.
After a pleasant while in this job, his past unfortunately came back to bite him. His previous boss, the head of the furniture company, contacted him and demanded he stop recommending their company for the purchasing of futons.
We don't sell futons!
Scorned and angry, Riki got thinking, how can I make this man pay? The plan did not take long to form. He was to embezzle bricks and mortar, using his position of power as a manager at a construction company to brick up the offices of his former employer.
The plan was ready, the materials in place, and the night silent. Riki crept to the offices in the dead of the night and set his plan into action. With every brick laid, his smile grew larger. He will have finished by dawn, he thought. Revenge taken.
As the sun rose, a hideous sight met the policeman from Wellington Station, called to attend reports of a man in distress.
They found an unconscious Riki Flutey, laying at the feet of a pathetic attempt at revenge.
Minutes into his attempt, he had fallen from his ladder and knocked himself out cold on a pile of bricks, his evil plans scattered around him.
He was arrested on the scene and charged with conspiracy to commit architectural terrorism. Upon his arrest, the forensic search of his house revealed disturbing plans for more such acts.
The police found plans to use the entirety of his new building company's building materials to build an enormous brick wall around Wellington and declare it the new independent state of Riki Flutopia and govern it as its king with one law, outlawing beds in favour of futons. Take your couches and your sofas and throw them into the sea!
Following a 4-week national trial in which he was humiliated and hung out to dry by the nation's press, Flutey was sentenced to 3 years of community service. His choice of job and location? Assistant coach at the Highlanders.
Rugby, rugby, rugby. Podcast.
Retiree of the week.
Now, to finish off with something a little different, a few of our loyal listeners have emailed us with some problems they're having, and being the good gents we are, we've decided to broadcast this help to everybody to aid anybody who may be in a similar position to them. So, everybody, welcome to the Advice Centre.
This is the first one we've got. Dear R3P3 lads, I have a problem. My problem is very severe. It is a problem. My problem is that my mum bought me a double gum shield and I have no choice but to wear it. She works hard to earn her money and bought this for me without even asking me, and I feel too bad not to wear it. When I wear it, I can't breathe and I look like a total fucking loser.
Fuck's sake.
Last week, I was doubled over after a particularly strenuous run back to halfway after conceding yet another try. Last week, I was doubled over after a particularly strenuous run back to halfway after we conceded yet another try, and one of the opposition players called me a gummy knobhead as he ran past. Please help, what should I do?
Oh,
gummy
God.
knobhead.
I love a double gum shield.
Oh. Our second letter. Dear the legendary new best rugby show in the land, thank you very much. I play in the second team for my local side and was wondering what the ideal diet is before a game. Many thanks. Oscar, you probably have the most playing experience in recent times, so what would you do before a game? What's your diet on match day like?
Well, that is a good question. So in my younger days, we'd play in the morning, so I'd have maybe some porridge and a bit of a banana. But these days, really, well, student life, a 2 hours sleep and a McDonald's breakfast is usually a pretty good shout. Packet of Marlboro Reds, probably, and some chewing gum.
Yeah. So don't say we're not an informative. Don't say we're not an informative show. So there you go. That's for anybody out there who's worrying about their diet.
3 hours sleep, a froob and a wank, and you'll be good to go.
Excellent stuff.
Right, so the last letter of the week. Dear lads, I'm about to do a university rugby initiation where every member of the squad has to drink my piss. I'm extremely worried about this, as the predicament I find myself in arises from the fact that my piss smells like an elderly Eskimo's arsehole. What should I do? Is there anything I can eat? It's another food question. I mean, they clearly know that we're nutrition gods.
Eat some beetroot. Freak him out a bit. It
Well,
was
I find it funny that his predicament arises from the fact that his wee doesn't smell particularly nice, apart from and not from the fact that he's going to have to place his glands in other people's mouths.
I don't think it's the like
it's
direct.
It's good to see he's got his priorities in order.
I don't think they're drinking from the tap, as it were.
Oh no, they are. They are.
True. I never played uni rugby, so I mean, I don't know the extent.
A lot of glands in mouths.
I did, but I told people to fuck off in the initiations. I wasn't very popular, to be honest.
About as popular as an elderly Eskimo's arsehole.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kira would have ate asparagus just to really go for it.
Yeah.
So basically, either way, you're not the fool here. I reckon double down. If they're going to be the ones, I mean, they're already the mugs. They're drinking piss. They may as well drink.
Definitely. You don't want to give them a pleasant experience. You want to make it as memorable as possible, and that's not going to be by pissing strawberries. It's going to be by smelling like an elderly Eskimo's arsehole. So 100% double down. Just eat all the foulest food you can find.
Just next training session, outdo them. Say you're the 16th man, and just floor everybody that moves.
And then come back to us in a few weeks' time and tell us how it went.
All right.
Excellent. I think that was a pretty successful first advice centre.
So that takes us to the end of the show, the second show, Rugby podcast. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Slightly sombre and change of tone, but Sean Wainui died this month, which is something that I'm very sad about. And the signs point towards it maybe being to do something with his mental health. So it's the month of November. So if any of your mates or yourself are doing it to raise awareness and funds for suicide prevention amongst young men, then please donate or get involved, and we fully endorse it on this podcast. So thank you very much, and we'll wrap it up there.
See ya.